regional and international aid, bolster relief efforts in the Bahamas,
CARICOM Chairman leads team to assess the damage,
and deadly Dorian's toll continues to rise. This is the CARICOM News Time for the week ending Friday, 6th of September. I'm Tosankin English Francis.
And I'm Volderine Hackett, filling in for Michelle Nurse. Thank you for joining us.
As the heartbreaking reality of Dorian's devastation in the Bahamas becomes clearer, an international relief effort is underway to bring relief to the victims.
United Nations Relief Chief Mark Lowcock said the UN has allocated US $1 million from the Central Emergency Response Fund. The UN said 8 tons of food supplies, logistical and telecommunications equipment were to arrive on the islands devastated by the hurricane on Saturday. The Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland said the organization will work with its partners to make available as swiftly as possible whatever assistance the Bahamas requires. United States President Donald Trump has assured the Bahamian government of America's assistance. The U.S. Coast Guard said it has rescued a total of 290 people following the hurricane. The U.S. Agency for International Development has announced a U.S. $1 million aid package, bringing the USAID's total funding to more than $2.8 million so far. The British Royal Navy Auxiliary Aid Ship is also helping in the relief efforts. The UK Ministry of Defence said the ship, which has been in the region since June in preparation for the hurricane season, is equipped with specialist personnel, stores and transport, as well as a Wildcat helicopter for rescue and surveying operations. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has pledged 500,000 Canadian dollars in initial emergency assistance. Within the region, the Caribbean Development Bank has disbursed US $200,000 in emergency response grant and has allocated US $750,000 in immediate response loan to assist with the cleanup and short-term recovery in the Bahamas. CARICOM member states and the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States are also coordinating comprehensive relief assistance. Jamaica has deployed military and relief aid personnel as the international relief effort gathers pace. The private sector, non-governmental organization, as well as Good Samaritans are also contributing to the aid effort. Sandals Resort International has pledged to match every dollar donated to its charity arm, Sandals Foundation, to help the hurricane victims. Using the hashtag Bahamas Strong, the resort chain has asked the public to make donations to www.sandalsfoundation.org/donation. Pay attention in your country to find out how you can donate to the relief efforts in the Bahamas.
A delegation from the Caribbean community, led by its chairman, Alan Chastanet, St. Lucia's Prime Minister, held talks with Bahamian Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis and his team about relief efforts in the hurricane-ravaged islands. The team included Barbuda's Prime Minister Mia Mottley, CARICOM Secretary General Erwin LaRocque, President of the Caribbean Development Bank Warren Smith, SEDIM's Executive Director Ronald Jackson, Chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, and St. Lucia's Minister of Tourism, Dominic Feddy. Members of the regional security system were also present. The team traveled from Odyssey Airport to the National Emergency Management Administration Office, where they were greeted by Prime Minister Minnis. They received reports from the Ministry of Works, Director of Environmental Health, Ministry of Public Health, Commissioner of Police, the Bahamas Defense Force, and the Department of Social Services.
The senior government officials accompanied the CARICOM team on a flight over the Abacos and Grand Bahama on the 5th of September for a first-hand view of the catastrophic damage. The staggering toll in the wake of Dorian has risen to more than 30 deaths,
according to the Minister of Health of the Bahamas, Dr. Duan Sands. Bahamas' Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said the government will introduce mandatory evacuation legislation when Parliament resumes. The government, international aid groups, and the private sector, as well as Good Samaritans, are assisting in moving storm victims to other islands, including Nassau and New Providence. Those islands were not affected by the hurricane. Over 1,000 people were also evacuated to West Palm Beach, Florida.
In other news, the University of the West Indies Five Island campus officially opened on September 3rd in Antigua and Barbuda. Hundreds of attendees turned out on Tuesday to commemorate a proud moment in the history of the country. Guyanese-born Professor Stafford Griffith will be at the helm of the campus. In introducing him at the opening ceremony, University of the West Indies Vice-Chancellor Sir Hilary Beckles said, "Difficult decisions requiring wisdom and experience will have to be made during the formative years of the institution." He said the UWI has turned to one of its wisest.
Now, my pleasure and my honor to introduce our acting interim principal of our Five Islands campus, please, Professor Stafford Griffith. The onward march of UWI has been associated with a methodology of the development of leadership. The first thing we do is identify a brilliant, seasoned, matured, and distinguished scholar to serve as principal in the establishment of the campus as an operation of higher education. We identify such a person because we know that in these formative months, in this formative year, some hard and difficult decisions requiring wisdom and experience will have to be made, and we have turned to one of our wisest heads. Do not allow the gray hair to disturb you. This is a man who has been tried and tested, a distinguished scholar, a distinguished Caribbean man who hails from the interior of Guyana. And I understand that there are thousands of Guyanese in this country who will welcome him. He has lived here for many years and knows this island and this country very well. I have worked with him at the UWI in the School of Education where he served as professor. I have worked with him in my capacity as chairman of CXC, and he is one of our leading technocrats in guiding the CXC over the years in curriculum development, program development, assessment, testing, and measurement. The CXC we are very proud of today is largely an expression of his leadership and guidance.
In a brief address, Professor Griffith underscored the value of higher education for economic development.
I regard the establishment of this new campus as an outcome of the confluence of the thinking of two visionary leaders, the Honorable Gaston Brown, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, who clearly recognizes the value that a university campus brings to the economic and social development of a nation, and Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, our esteemed Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, who demonstrates an unwavering conviction that the University of the West Indies must play a pivotal role in the further development of the Caribbean by extending its services, particularly to the Eastern Caribbean. A campus in Antigua and Barbuda is a good place from which to do so. The value of higher education to economic development is not a debatable issue. It is well illustrated by the impact that the establishment of a University of the West Indies campus in Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago has had on those countries' development. The establishment of the Five Islands campus in Antigua and Barbuda should impact the growth and the development of this country in the same way that the establishment of campuses in Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago impacted the development of those countries.
For more stories, you can visit the CARICOM news site at today.caricom.org or the CARICOM website at caricom.org.
Like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.